Out to your phone calls here in just a moment before we welcome Brant Hadaway and Leslie Manukian in the third hour. But I got two videos I want to show you, and I'm struggling to figure out in what order I want them to be played. I think we'll start with clip number 2 here. Start with clip number 2 as we investigate an exciting new advancement in technology. Yes, folks, it's not enough anymore to simply manipulate you through the information that you have access to, through your hormonal receptions, such as dopamine or adrenaline, by invoking fear or giving you the pleasure of receiving a like on your post. No longer is it this pseudo-direct control of the mind being exploited. They've gone a step beyond now. Direct control over minds using remote controls. It's really an astonishing thing. Let's go now to this exciting scientific advancement that scientists are now making.
So amazing that you just press a button and the beetle starts walking. Mm-hmm. It's I don't know. It seems almost unreal that you can kind of achieve this in a living creature.
If I press one more time, 0.5 hertz, so it's faster. Then
this is really amazing.
1 hertz. If I want to change to galloping, I press this button, so it will change to galloping. So, yes, it's galloping.
And this is when it runs faster, basically?
Yeah, the step frequency is 1 hertz.
Uh-huh.
Now it's 2 hertz.
Wow.
So for our radio listeners, yes, there is a beetle strapped to a table with wires going into it, and they are controlling it like a remote control.
And do you think, is he struggling to kind of stop these stimulation signals?
Yes, I think so. But still, it obeys. You can see very clearly here.
And this just keeps on working like this?
Yes.
It doesn't get used to it or something? It doesn't...
No. I stimulate even like for more than half an hour, so it's still like this. We stimulate more than 7 days, more than 1 week.
Uh-huh. Mm-hmm. And it keeps working?
Yes.
You're putting in electrical signals into the beetle now, but is it using up its own...
nerds stimulating a beetle.
Energy source, basically? Is it using the food that it eats to drive the muscles, or are the muscles driven by the electricity?
Yes, the food.
So you have to feed it to be able to keep on doing this?
Yes.
Looking at this thing,
All right, so let's go quickly to clip 3 here. It's titled "Enslave the Beetles to Save the World Peacefully." You see this in an even more advanced mode.
This is a very impressive room.
We like a beetle to fly as long as possible. Then we use this smooth paper, and we release the beetle, and the flying beetle even crash on the walls. Still, the beetle go back to the arena to fly. Yeah. We make the air gap between the paper and the actual wall. Because the beetle crash on the wall, the beetle and our device does not be damaged.
Should I imagine it that
this beetle has a little remote control engine on it.
A Wii remote.
They use a Wii remote to control the way that it flies.
All right, all I gotta do is blow on its back to make its wings go, and then I can control it with this controller by pressing a button and moving it to the side.
Elon Musk going to do this to liberals using Twitter. So yeah, they have direct remote control access to the bug's nervous system.
Hey, it worked. It went right. Can I try again?
Can actually control which way it flies. So there you have a brain implant on a bug that is controlling against its will. The guy says, like, yeah, the bug's trying to fight it, but we control its brains. And it's not, as he said, using the electricity that they're pumping into it to move it. It's the natural processes of the beetle. It's just the nervous system that's been hijacked by this implant. If you don't think this is coming, well, it's a beetle. Sure, they'll do it to beetles. Yeah, because beetles are so different, right? It's not like we have the same neurological impulses that can be controlled like this. If you don't think this is where they're going, and this is where InfoWars is tomorrow's news today, there's a lot of people now talking about chip implants to pay for things and palm scanning. Like we told you about that years ago. Here's what we're telling you is coming next. Direct brain control implants mandated, just like the masks, just like everything else that they did through COVID. It will be an existential crisis that people are able to think the things that they think without oversight of the overlords. And that's a problem for them. So they'll soon have direct access, subdermal brain access to your physical functions. You don't think that's coming? Well, here's Klaus Schwab bragging about it. Let's watch.
But can you imagine that in 10 years when we are sitting here, we have an implant in our brains, and I can immediately feel, because you all will have implants, and we measure your brain waves, and I can immediately tell you how the people react, or I can feel how the people react to your answers. Is it imaginable?
I think that is imaginable. I think I think, you know, you can imagine that. You can imagine, well, you're going to be sort of transplanted into, you know, the internet, so to speak, to live forever in a digital realm. You know, you can imagine that, you know, you just in your biological incarnation are going to live to be some, you know, very long age.
So that was Klaus Schwab talking with Google owner or Google founder Sergey Brin at the World Economic Forum about how you will have brain implants very soon, and they are trying to live forever, just like InfoWars has told you the entire time. Just know where this is going. Know that even now, as this is being implemented, even the far-right dissident, you know, people still see this as some sort of fantasy conspiracy theory that's not worth paying attention to. And they'll think that right up until the order comes down that mandates they get an implant in their brain for safety and climate change. That's going to happen, folks. You don't think it will? Then just imagine 5 years ago if I'd told you they were going to lock down the entire United States for 2 years over the flu. You wouldn't have believed that either.